Okay, mother. Or I guess, mother! Since there's an exclamation point at the end of it. This is a Darren Aronofsky film. He did films like Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream, Fountain. Ironically, I kind of like all reasons. Fountain is really bizarre. But this film, so here's some basic pointers. There's no background music, like no ambient music. No one is given names. If you're okay seeing a film that's a little over 2 hours long, where there's no background music and no one is given names, and narratively it's difficult, to put it mildly, then don't bother seeing this film. If you saw Black Swan and you went, wait, what? Or I think I also did the really bad Noah's Ark film called Noah. If those films to you were not good, just skip. This will be what you put down for like a 1 on IMDb. I enjoyed those. I like what he does in most of his films. I say cinematically, this film is definitely worth watching with no kids around and people who are okay with things that are disturbing. And then it hits the climax of it where it's this weird, tense, suspenseful building thing. Then when it hits its boom. And you're like, oh, okay. That took a turn. Then by all means. Now for those of you who have already got through this part, kind of went, yeah, I really want to see it. Okay. Here's the film. Jennifer Lawrence is mother. She tends a house. Okay. Living with him. Him is a poet. He's trying to create something, but he has an issue trying to create. He has a moment where he's like, I figured something out. And then a guy shows up. The guy gets sick, lots of coughing. Next day, his wife shows up. And then a little while later, their kids show up, and their kids get into an argument. And then other people keep on showing up, constantly destroying the house that mother is constantly tending. And then more people show up, and the house is constantly being ravaged. Him, at this point in time, doesn't really care because he's popular. Still something around here you want to see this film? And then it takes the last half an hour of the film is it's where everything comes to an actual a climax. It's brutal, it's disturbing, it's full of symbolism. Ironically, I'd probably say The Begotten is a better telling of this sort of film, and The Begotten has no dialogue and only ambient sounds, most of which are screaming, and it's in black and white. So, do you know what this film's actually about? Okay. Mother is actually Mother Earth, Gaia, whatever term you want to use. The house that she constantly tends is Earth. Him is God. God is trying to create, has an issue, has a writer's block. Guy shows up, who's constantly coughing. That ends up being your Adam. He fixes him from coughing because it's a problem with his rib, therefore producing Eve. Their kid show up, that's Cain and Abel. They get into an argument. More people show up. It's the constant proliferation of the human race. They begin just absolutely ravage and destroy the Earth, which is what's currently happening now. So you kind of have the global warming, the rape and abuse of the planet, depending on your terminology you want to use for it. And those are good concepts and good aspects. And then now we're in the super spoiler heavy part. If you've made it this far and you've gotten through here's who all these characters are. And then of course him gets mother pregnant, she produces a son. The son is taken away and eaten. Because, every Sunday Christians get together and they eat the bread to represent his body, and the fruit of the vine represent his blood. For some people there's a transfiguration where they believe in the taking of the bread. They're actually consuming his flesh instead of being symbolic. of the sacrifice he made. So, yeah. My biggest gripe is Jennifer Lawrence is all over this film. And she's a decent actress, but you can tell she gets out of her depth in this film. Javier Bardem, it's a great job. Ed Harris, good job. Michelle Pfeiffer, good job. The weird thing, of course, being that they've got Javier Bardem, who's a much older character, is therefore technically then that his creation would have been Earth. Which is odd. Some people say, well, we should actually be worshipping the Earth, which is the creator of us, and not God, who is the creator of us. So if the creator is the sustainer, and people would take this a whole bunch of different directions. I think stylistically it's worth seeing. Bear in mind, flip a coin. Heads, you're gonna hate it. Tails, you might go, oh, I see the merit in that. I think it's worth watching from how it's done. What he's trying to convey, does a pretty good job with. If there was just some slight narrative help with it, this film probably would have done a lot better. And also, they probably would have trimmed it a tad. This is like a boulder going downhill. It's really, really slow. And then by the time it's towards the end of the film, it's going really fast, and you're like, wait, what? Wait. There's like thousands of people. Okay, they're smashing the walls down. They have pictures of him all over it. They're taking photos with the... Where's people come from? Now there's like a rave scene, like it's the Matrix. Now she's giving birth. Okay, now they're beating her half to death. They're eating the baby. They're setting the house on fire. But that's okay, because the crystal apple, which of course is the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, was buried inside the burned corpse of former mother, which he takes out, and her body becomes a husk, and then the house becomes reformed, and he puts the crystal back up, and then a new girl wakes up resembling the role of mother, and we begin all over again. Stylistically, good. A lot of it's just that thing where it's art for the sake of art, and I dug it. Could have been done a little bit better. Need just a tad bit more finesse. This is one of those moments where they let somebody do whatever he wanted to do, and someone kind of went, what if we tighten things up just a tad? This is my art. You cannot change my art. Okay. You're going to get Fs, and you're going to get, scores that are not good, but this is what you wanted to put out, and this is what you put out, and this is the reaction you're going to get.